Hey, my name is Mark McCourt. I'm an online coach and I help people to regain their physical freedom, mental freedom and design the life that they want. I do remember the first injury, but I think even before that, I still remember I was around 15 and me and my sister were just in the landing and I still remember her sitting down. So if she sat down, her heels are outwards and her bum just goes down towards the floor. So sitting in internal rotation of the hips, and she did it so easily, so comfortably. And then I tried it and wasn't happening. Like I just felt like that, and I tried to put my bum down towards the floor and it just didn't happen. It just felt like my hips were gonna pop or dislocate or something. So at the time, I'm only a kid, like didn't really pass any heat of it too much, but as you're saying, like the emotions, I just remember thinking I'm a bit different somehow than my sister. Obviously, she can just sit down like that. She doesn't even play sport. You know, I'm thinking like I'm the kind of athlete of the family. I'm very sporty and stuff, and then she can kind of sit on the floor easily and I couldn't. So that was kind of the first point thinking back, and that was really the start of the chronic pains and injuries, because it was 15 to 25 was the period. So that's the first moment I can remember of it. We're skipping on a bit forward now, and soccer was my life and I was actually fine. So I was able to operate pretty much as I could. So the fact I didn't make it in soccer was nothing to do with the injuries. It was later in life where, you know, I kind of knew I wasn't going to make it in the soccer at around 18. I got to kind of Ireland trials level, didn't push on any further. But it was out the other end then where, you know, I was going to start working now and I was trying new things. So I was trying jiu-jitsu. So this is where it really happened, because I was getting into the gym then and into jiu-jitsu. I found out I loved it. I tried 1 or 2 classes in college, but you're drinking and whatever else, so I wasn't going to commit to it then. But I had in the back of my mind, I actually loved that jiu-jitsu. I'm going to try it again. Tried it, and within 1 session I knew I'd do that for life. Like I love this. And I couldn't go through a class without hip and back pain, like during the class and then after class, you know, pain in my back and this kind of stuff. And I didn't know anything about the human body before that. I didn't care, because I was usually fine, but I didn't know if I was going to break my back. Would I be able to walk when I'm 30? I don't know. I was only like 22. You know, I know this stuff isn't normal, but I didn't know anything about it. So it's the fear of the unknown there. And then that's when I tried to take it very seriously. You know, took the money. I went to the best people I could find. You know, 5 of the best experts, will say, across like doctor, physio, chiropractor, osteopath. You know, in my mind, I'm like, this is it. They're going to fix me. Like I was paying lower level stuff, now I'm paying the big dogs. Like this is going to be it. But that didn't go like I thought it would. So essentially I just got 5 different diagnoses of what was wrong with me from each of the 5. I would be an optimistic person. Like going into the 5th one, I was still like, those other 4 don't know what's wrong. Like this one, her diagnosis then was essentially one of the worst ones. Like she was saying, basically chronic pains in my neck, my back, my hips, my left knee, you know, most parts of my body at that stage. So she was saying like, this is all coming because you have scoliosis. You lean to the left, that's why the left hip does worse, and it's the left knee and all these things. And like, we found you at 15, we could have done something about it, but now you're 25, you're a fully grown man, like you just have to manage it. You know, there's nothing you can really do about it. So I think you can see how I was feeling, you know, when you're hearing that kind of stuff. So like, what she basically said then at the end is that it's time to settle now. She obviously knew what she was going to say to me after, now that I look back, because she was kind of like, why do you want to get a lot better hip mobility and get over these issues and whatever else? And then, I can't remember the exact words, but along the lines of, you know, only years later, I can just say the word physical freedom, because that's essentially what it is. But I started doing jiu-jitsu. I love that. I want to do more of that. And, you know, I watch these gymnasts and stuff, and I'd love to take it to the level of the front splits and this kind of thing. And then that's when she kind of like giggled or kind of laughed. But then, like, she thought I was messing. Did I look like I'm messing now when I'm talking about? Like, I was like that back then. I'm not messing about this. Like, I want to sort it out. And she obviously saw that then and kind of caught herself. And then it was, you know, changed to a look of pity of like, you know, I'm sorry, but that, like, you know, don't even worry about, you said the front splits, like, don't even worry about that. Like, that's not possible for your hips, you know, maybe lower level things like the swimming. And I didn't say anything, you know. So that was the big turning point for me, where it's like, don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not going to settle for that. And then going on from there, this is my new approach now, which is what I tell people to do, not just for mobility, for anything in life, is it's following the results. That's what I tell people, like, what should I do for this, for that? I'm like, follow the results, because that's the best bullshit detector I could come up with. Because at the end of the day, you don't care what someone has on their wall. If there's 3 doctorates on the wall or whatever, you care that the thing you're going to them for, physical freedom for me, like, they give you that. I wouldn't care if they had no degrees or they had 20 degrees. It doesn't matter to me. That's, when you think deeply on it, that's what you want. And then through that lens, I'm like, I'm going to follow the results now. That led me to, that's why I do an online coach, or coaches in person, mobility coaches who had no formal education on the human body. And then, like, this was it. This is what shattered that whole illusion of experts and this diagnosis, and I'm fucked. I went to a mobility coach. He helped me more with these chronic pains in like a month. Now, it wasn't fixed or anything. I knew it was an ongoing process, but he helped me more within that month than 10 years combined of going to all the experts. Do you know, and that was just, do you know, I'm like, fuck, why didn't someone tell me this? Why don't I know? Why isn't this information more widespread? You know, because like everyone, like most other people that I know just settled in that situation. And if I wasn't such a stubborn bollocks, like, you know, just like, if I didn't have that don't settle attitude, I probably would have. Do you know what I mean? And it's, I don't know if I can say the word, like, I hadn't even thought about what that would have been like if I did settle. Do you know, that's the kind of thing, that's what inspires me to do this, because I've never even thought of that. Do you know, I'm trying to do it a bit now, and you know, that's tough to do. People don't understand how little improvements add up to massive changes. And again, this is the line I told myself. Any big gain is an illusion. Any big gain is just an accumulation of small gains over time. Adaptations in humans, that's how it happens. We don't go from swinging out of trees, flying rockets to other planets, dominating the world. You don't go from walking as a baby to an adult doing everything you do now. It's tiny little changes in the background until certain tipping points happen. That's when you see the big change. That's what people need to understand, is like, once they understand these things and focus on the small gains, it's going to be inevitable in time.
Do you like remember a definitive moment where you were like, I've done it, I've done the impossible?
So it was just after the physio when she told me to settle, going to this new coach. Just around that moment, I gave up everything then. So I gave up everything because I was trying to go to the gym, as I call it, the roundabout of injuries and average progress. You know, like not ever doing anything that I want to do, because you try a bit, you get injured, try a bit, get injured, and had to give up jiu-jitsu as well because I couldn't do that with, you know, the chronic pains and injuries and everything. So I gave up everything for a year, and that's when I focused fully on the mobility, full year. Knew I was going to come back with it. And again, power small gains, you know, there's hundreds of hours in there, do you know what I mean? That was kind of the hero's journey, really, of like, the fact that, yeah, I was told things like the front splits were impossible, so I think that was definitely the moment of like, once, what was it, 2-3 years later after all the stuff that I mentioned and I got the front splits, that was definitely, it's literally shattering the impossible for me, isn't it? Because that's the boundaries that was placed upon me. So that was really a liberating moment. So I wasn't even a coach before this, actually, at all. I had no real interest in the healthcare, fitness industry or whatever. Like, I was just playing my sport. But once I went through my own transformation and got my physical freedom back, that's when I knew that I want to help people with this in the future. You know, it's, as I said, it completely changed my life. Like I was saying before, you know, I could barely say it. I don't know what my life would be like if I settled and gave up on that. I don't even want to know. So this was the greatest gift I ever could have been given in my life, and someone gave it to me, and I want to give that to as many people as I can. So I was working on Facebook at the time then, and you know, great job. Parents are very proud. I worked in recruitment. I interviewed people. I know the salaries. I know what I'd be on in 5-10 years. Route to millionaire, and you know, all the gram life, will say, of like the money, the house, all that kind of stuff. But that's not what I wanted. You know, that's not what I wanted. Like, I hadn't told anyone, but deep down, before I even took that job, I knew. I was there for, I don't even know, 2-3 years or something like that. I knew that this is a filler. Zux is going to fill my bank account, which is going to help me build this business, help other people in this thing I'm passionate about. Like, I knew that going in. I've built a program for my younger me, basically, and obviously loads of people resonate with that and they'll come through. So the 3 pillars that were plaguing my life and I couldn't get back: physical freedom, mental freedom, and then lifestyle design. So they're the best gift I could give Mark in the world. Not all the money, whatever else. This would be the best gift I could ever give him in the world, is the physical freedom, mental freedom, and the lifestyle design that he wants. I split my own development up into everybody's personal track, EBPT, which is my education, business, personal stuff, and my training. And I worked on those to get this life I have now. And I picked it like that because everybody's personal track. And if you Google what a track is, it says a path that's beaten into existence, not one that was set out before. That's it. That's what I'm giving people. People know, you know in your heart if you're watching this, you know instantly if I'm not for you or if I am for you. Like you'll resonate with it and you'll know, I have this track that I want to build out myself. You know, as I said, you have to beat this track into existence through persistence. That's what I told myself, you know, when I'm struggling. It's not to say it's easy, it's no fix, but that's what I was telling myself. And for people that want to build their own track, you know, across physical freedom, mental freedom, lifestyle design, that's what I'm here for.